Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Right Guys Podcast. Victory! And now your hosts, Josh Hammerling and Max McGuire.
Oh, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. I have been smiling for what feels like the last 24 hours. Cheeks are hurting. Donald Trump said we would never get tired of winning, or we would get tired of winning. I am feeling a little tired of smiling. I did not remember how good it felt the morning after the election in 2016 to wake up, know he's already won, nurse a little bit of a hangover, that's okay.
Yeah.
You get on social media and it's just all memes and it's just all pump up videos and it's all liberal tears and it's all mainstream media freaking out. Then we get the Young Turks freaking out.
Crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot how much fun that was.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
And here we are. We get to live it again. It's not often you get to live the most fun day ever over a second time. It's also not often that a country gets a do-over.
Yeah.
Now we have shared our opinions on the 2020 election. We're going to show a graph that is one of those chin scratchers. How did that happen in 2020? Our YouTube overlords, they kind of waffle on whether or not we're allowed to say something funny happened in 2020. We're going to talk a little bit about it. But when we talk about this, when we talk about Biden winning in 2020, just to let everyone know, there's a healthy little asterisk next to that word win.
Mm-hmm.
Our YouTube overlords don't want us to explain what that asterisk is, but it's kind of like how Barry Bonds has an asterisk next to his home run record.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like how, Roger Maris has a home run next to his asterisk next to his home run record because he played a longer season than Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden, 2020, has an asterisk next to his win.
Yeah.
And we all know what that asterisk is. YouTube overlords refuse to let us talk about it, but we know what it is. And last night showed that something really weird happened in 2020. But we're not going to talk about that. We know what it was.
No, we don't have to. We moved on. It's 2024. And the Big T walked away with the victory.
Yeah. Gonna bring on friend of the show, Madison Marquette. Madison, I want to tell you, I've been waffling back and forth. I actually think it's better that 2020 happened this way. Now, I think we all wish we didn't have to go through 4 years of inflation and all that. But if Donald Trump had won in 2020, he would have had a Democrat House.
Well, he did win in 2020.
I know, but the asterisk, you heard the asterisk. If Donald
all
Trump,
that set up.
I know some people can't comprehend.
I know. You're going to get us deplatformed.
I know.
Asterisk.
Listen, guys, before
his
wife wanted to troll me, so I'm going to troll Max because I really love his wife. So I was like, she's the only person allowed on this planet that can troll me. So, which now she might be watching. So I got Max a follower, which is his wife. So.
Our YouTube overlords, Madison, you've been admonished.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last I'm going to admonish you. I kind of think it's a little bit better if he had won, if he had been inaugurated. I think we could say if he had been inaugurated in 2020, he would have had probably a Democrat House and or a Democrat Senate. They would have kept investigating him. They would have kept trying to impeach him. They would have kept going with the lawfare. He would have been basically a lame duck. They would have made it next to impossible for him to do anything. This victory yesterday gave the country a do-over, gave everyone a chance for, hey, you want a do-over? And the country took it. They took that and ran with it. They took it and ran with it.
Right. Well, I wouldn't be me if I did not say this, but I believe that Trump is going to restore the Republic of America. Which Max and I were talking, and just so everyone knows, because I need to put this out there before I forget, Max called me at 12:30 a.m. You better be dying, okay?
No, we're winning. We're winning.
Just so everyone knows, like producer Josh lived like close.
I called
he
Josh.
sober one with us drunkies.
I
He
called
called me at
Josh.
10:30.
I
I'm
called
sorry
Josh
to
at
say.
10:30. He was already asleep, and that's 10:30 his time.
Yeah.
He's in Colorado.
The stress got me. I had to go to sleep. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was watching Pennsylvania tick up and down. I'm like, I gotta go.
I called you, Madison, because I popped champagne. I was like, "Where did I get this champagne from?" I was like, "Oh, Madison gave it to me." Oh, I haven't talked.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Madison yet today. I'm gonna call her. I didn't care what time it was. I thought you'd be up.
Yeah.
I haven't really gone to sleep. I think I got half an hour in between when I closed my eyes at 6 a.m. and when my kids woke me up. Thanks to daylight savings time, they're now getting up at like 6:30. That's fine.
But it was good that the loss happened in 2020 because it allowed us to see what's going on, right? It allows us to see the rise of the apparatus. It allowed us to see the conspiracy theories go from theories into realities, right? It allowed people to see what the Democrats were willing to do on every level to retain their power. So it was fantastic that we lost in 2020. It's awful that we had 4 years of the worst economic policy we've ever had. But now we're on the verge of something good. We're looking out on a shining new hill, ready to rock and roll.
The DOJ announced today that Donald Trump isn't even going to have a chance to fire Jack Smith. The DOJ is going to fire him in advance.
But here's the thing: what people need, like with 2020, I'm going to do two things here. 2020, absolutely, it was a good thing because the world didn't realize how demonic and evil how our country was being ran. Right? They didn't. It was like this great. It was the Great Awakening, and that was just because people were willing to have eyes to see. On the flip side of that, with Trump, I think we're going to see a new world. I think we're going to see that republic. We're going to see what we want. But I love Trump. People think that I say certain things and they think that I hate him, and I don't. I really respect him and honor him more than people even would understand. Anyway. Mm-hmm. I want him to actually be prosecuted, but here's why. I want them to do a sentencing. And the only reason I say that is because if they sentence Trump, he can now go after every other sitting president. Obama, the Bushes are we on YouTube
right now? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, for now.
I gotta be careful.
The difficult thing is that the statute of limitations would apply to crimes like murder. And those are crimes that probably would fall under the Supreme Court's immunity ruling, right? Like Barack Obama drone striking American citizens overseas, that probably would fall under the immunity ruling. So he's really limited statute of limitations wise, unless they can find
community. There's but people don't know this on fraud. There's no statutes of limitations on fraud, and the way that this country has been ran.
Yeah, because you perpetuate it. Because there's no way you no matter what you cover it up, it keeps going. Joe Biden has to be prosecuted for the ballots in the garage. Like that's a no-brainer. Like he can't be prosecuted because he's too old and he's older and he's like a couple of years older than Trump. Like no, he's going to be prosecuted. In 2016, I was like, okay, I bit my tongue, stay quiet when Trump said, "Hey, we're going to not lock Hillary up for the good of the country." It's like, okay, we can try this. Joe Biden's getting the Jack Smith treatment, except they're not going to go with a special prosecutor. They're just going to appoint someone to do it. This is the graph I wanted to show up on the screen. This is the one. This is the one that really is a chin scratcher. You look at 2012, 2016, 2024. The Democrat vote is basically the same every year. But there's one magical year in 2020 where the Democrats not double, but it's double, but you see the scale, it starts at 50.
Yeah.
They shoot way up. But then where did all they go? Where did all those votes go?
Come from?
Right?
Yeah,
where did they go?
I don't came from your dead relatives.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, were they alive? Or, I mean, did they cross the border that year? Or were they just were they mail-ins, right? I mean, I'm just gonna fill this out for everybody.
We don't
know.
I continually believe that it was old-fashioned, that it was people running around saying, register to vote, get an absentee ballot, and then coming back to that house 2 weeks later and saying, give us your ballot. I think that's how they did it. There's other people who think it's machine-based or whatnot. I think that just the sheer number of absentee ballots, and then you're seeing this year that there were so many fewer absentee ballots in places like Philadelphia. They couldn't beat Trump. I went to bed last night and I was like, Trump's up by like 200,000. I know this. I've read this bedtime story before. I know that they find the ballots at 3 a.m., right? Which is why I didn't go to bed until like 5 or 6. I know this bedtime story. I know how the story ends. But they didn't bank the ballots. They didn't go out and harvest them. So there were no ballots to flip it at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys something with these ballots and everything that's happened in 2020 and what's to come. Listen, we all know like Nuremberg trials and everything that happened with, I won't say it, we're on YouTube, but we all know what happened, right? And
But
so
RFK Jr., that's RFK Jr.'s job right now.
But do you think that he'll do Nuremberg trials 2.0? Is my thought. What do you think?
I was watching MSNBC today. I know. Or maybe it was CNBC.
That's it. I gotta go, guys. He's watching lamestream.
No.
What the heck?
Because RFK Jr. was on there, and they're asking him, "What are you going to do?" And his first answer is, "We're firing all of the nutritionists at the FDA."
They're not nutritionists. They're
I know, but
Mad scientists.
like the entire nutrition staff focusing on like what is good nutrition for kids. They're gone, and so like I think. If he's doing that, I don't see how he doesn't eventually get to the vaccine safety team, right? Yeah. I mean, if he's on MSNBC complaining that American Fruit Loops have like 37 ingredients, but Canadian Fruit Loops have like 4 ingredients, how does that make sense? If that's what he's focusing on, he's eventually going to get to the vaccine safety folks.
Well, they have to. They gotta get the food first because all the dyes and everything that are in the food. There's these I don't like them. They annoy me because they're from Europe. No offense, I love people from Europe, but these two guys annoy me. And they go around and they eat foods that are banned in the UK. Mm-hmm. And like I find it so interesting because we fought our independence right from 1776 and won, and then they enslaved us again to Britain. So it's so funny that certain things that they're poisoning us with here, it's like they're keeping Europe healthy and then poisoning Americans. Crazy.
Sons of bitches.
I had a friend who lived. I had a friend. She was the best man at my wedding, and she lived in France.
Cool.
Wait,
the best woman. The best woman. My friend Michelle.
That crazy one that I went out with
friend.
Annie.
No. My friend Michelle. My friend Michelle from college. She was my best woman in my wedding, and she was living in Paris. And I went to visit her for like spring break one year, and she was begging me to bring her Kraft mac and cheese because she tried the European version and it sucked. It didn't taste the same. And so me being a little like smuggler, I packed like a whole case into my suitcase and brought it to her. And she loved it because that's just what she was craving. It's completely different. The foods that they get are completely different from ours. So RFK Jr. is going to deal with that. He's 100% going to deal with that. I want to show you guys an image. This is from early in the night. It's filled out now that the West Coast has started coming in. Mm-hmm. But around 1 a.m., 12 o'clock, 1 a.m., this is the map showing counties and how the vote has changed versus 2020.
Good Lord.
So you can see that it went further blue in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, we did.
But pretty much everywhere else, it went red. That's what a red wave looks like.
That Colorado is blue. When I was in Colorado in 2020, there's no way the Trump like parades and everything. I mean, come on, there's no way to me. Maybe Denver, but not anywhere else in Colorado.
So Arapahoe and Adams County also went super deep blue. So I have deep questions. So I have questions for our voting machines that are out here because, you know, how many of those passwords were shared? There was no recertification before the election.
Did you see what happened in Milwaukee? See what happened in Milwaukee in the middle of the night last night?
Well, what happened?
They had to rerun 30,000 ballots because apparently all of the tabulators, they're certified, and then they treat them like gas pumps. They lock it and they put a sticker over it so that if the sticker is loose or not there, you know, it's been tampered with. The stickers were there, but all of the locks were unlocked on the tabulators. So they said, oh, we don't think anything happened, but in the abundance of caution, we're going to rerun them. Hats off to that Republican poll watcher who had the wherewithal to look and notice that because
Amen.
you don't want to get conspiratorial, but if that doesn't get noticed and they run all of Milwaukee through those machines before it gets caught, you have no idea what that end result is.
I feel like that's probably happened here in Colorado. I want a full audit. I want what Tina Peters started. Like, we want a full audit. I want to see Griswold do her job or get fired, because to have all those things go crazy like that days before the election, and some of these counties that went totally super blue, even in the corners of the state where they have been traditionally conservative, they went blue again. Just look how the counties have changed in Colorado. It lurched so far left that I have real questions.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't believe it. Well, look at Polis. He's so corrupt. I mean, you watch the Rocky Mountain Heist. He freaking stole the governorship there, right? And then people think that governor's so great, just like Kamala, right? They're like, oh, they're pushing the gay agenda. Listen, sleep with who you want. That we don't care. But you're just voting for Polis because he sleeps with men, not because he has any kind of good policy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that comment, but I don't really care. I mean, that's what it
Scott
is.
Scott Pressler's probably my new favorite gay man. He delivered Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. He moved there, bought a house. That's how committed he was to get out the vote in Pennsylvania. Bought a house there.
Gays.
Yeah,
awesome.
No, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. So look at this bit right here. Look at Texas. Look the length of the arrow is how far red it went. This is Texas, and historically, these counties along the Mexican border have been blue counties. And so not only did they go red, but they went red by a lot. They went red by a lot. And I want to show you one specific county that is really actually historic. Starr County. Starr County, Donald Trump won it 57.7 to Kamala Harris's 41.8. Won it by about 16 points. A Republican hasn't won Starr County since 1892.
Oh my God!
Don't you think that those counties that are close to the border, the last 4 years have been a nightmare for them. They can't sell their properties. The illegals are hiding out in their property. They've had to basically go live somewhere else because they've overtaken it. I mean, I can see why they would turn very quickly when you're now have all these illegals that are coming in and taking over your property and your home,
Yeah. First time it's ever gone red since 1892. Think about that.
92, right? We're just a couple of decades after the Civil War, right?
You know how hard it is to be a Texas county and to not go red since 1892? You know how hard that is in Texas?
Right, it's generational, right? You've got a whole people that have been raised that we are Democrats, right? There are hardcore Democrats that live in Texas, and that's where they were. But look what happened. The border went south, right? The drugs pouring over, the fentanyl that's out there, the sex trafficking, right? They're seeing it every day. And they voted on these issues because they knew that their future was at stake. Every day they look out the window. They see it running across the border. So, it's amazing.
You can't help but see all of that happening, and the drugs and the people dying and the kids being harmed. You're seeing it from your doorstep. I mean, you can. I mean, you're going to continue to vote for that in what you believe just because your family was blue for however many years? No, it's not. It's time to break those generational curses.
Yeah, right.
Donald Trump made gains with every voting bloc except for college-educated white women.
Really?
Yeah. That's according to exit polls. So the exit polls are exit polls, but all of the exit polls together are telling the same story. So NBC, ABC, CNN, the Fox one, they're all telling the same story. Donald Trump.
Here he goes again with the mainstream media.
But
he watches the enemy. He watches the enemy.
But they're the ones who pay for it, right? So they're paying for people to go out in the ground and do those exit polls, and then they share it with us. So I don't take any one of them as gospel, but when you look at all of them together, it tells a remarkable story of Donald Trump gaining with everything. He won 45% of the Hispanic vote. That's insane.
Yeah.
He won Catholic votes by 25%.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that there was so much more. That's why I think that from 2020 to now, everything that has happened, I think that's why there was no way that they could steal it this year. Like, there's just no possible way. I think that they realized that the American people probably would have entered into some type of war, which it's like, do they want that? Because who are we going to go after first? It's not going to be us again. It's going to be us against them, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean,
Tim Walz is there.
Oh, here we go. Are they going to finally take the stage? So why didn't she show up last night?
The dancing queen is there.
She's a dancing. Oh, wait, I can't sing it. Sorry. I don't want to get popped on YouTube. I'm going
to remove this, and I'm going to. Do you want to listen in, Madison? She's about to speak.
Yeah, I'll listen.
I'll get that ready. I also do have a bunch of liberal reactions that we can talk about. Oh, you don't want them all at once? Okay, we'll break them down one by one. But that's them all at once. That's them all at once. I'm afraid for my friends.
You're on the upper left-hand corner who's screaming at the steering.
yeah, look at that. Look at that.
You gotta show him the guy that rips off his shirt. That's the best one.
I can show that while we're waiting for Kamala Harris. This guy is a white dudes for Harris.
Trump's actually gonna win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so pissed off. Fuck! God damn it!
Holy crap! That's the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen.
That's who I knew that's who the white dudes for Harris were. I knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen.
I mean, he went straight Hulk Hogan on that T-shirt, though. I mean, he's got to be pretty strong to get through. Or they made really weak T-shirts for the Harris team, right? Like they made him to rip off.
Right.
That way, when you lose, is that now?
Can you hear it?
No. There we go.
You can hear it?
Yeah. There it is.
I'm gonna say it's hard to do a concession speech at night when you're drunk, and it's hard to do in the morning when you're hungover. So here she is, late afternoon.
I want it.
She looks good.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
She's soft now.
Good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
And liberal tears.
We're all cheering from across the cameras here. I can't show the brand name.
So let me say, and I love you back.
Oh, we don't love you.
Oh, that's good.
So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today.
Liquor.
Full of gratitude.
And her liver is weak.
For the trust you have placed in me.
What?
Full of love for our country. And full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Okay.
As long
she's crying.
as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
Oh, I was told that's insurrection language.
It was.
To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much.
Yeah, and all those nannies.
To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support.
They're not there.
To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue.
Yeah. Is he crying? He is a little bit.
And to my extraordinary team.
He has to go back to Minnesota.
Volunteers who gave so much of themselves.
Yeah.
To the poll workers and the local election officials.
Oh, just concede already.
I thank you. I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran. The way we ran it.
Stabbing Biden.
We ran it.
Right?
Over the 107 days of this campaign.
Shortest ever.
We have been intentional about building community and building coalitions. bringing people
Coalition.
together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it.
Excitement.
But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Gonna help the Nazis?
And that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
With the Nazis?
Never had power, you piece of
Well, it hasn't happened yet, right? Like, it hasn't happened yet.
The fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny.
Nazism. Yeah.
And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States.
Oh my God! But she's never honored the Constitution.
Well, she wasn't elected.
We're getting the footage.
And to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Oh, go to Gitmo.
Send her to jail. Insurrection.
The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up.
With her commie flags and the gold planes in the background.
I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body and not have their government telling them what to do.
Wait, government can't tell us what to do? Government can't tell us what to do?
To protect our schools and our streets from gun violence.
Oh, come on.
And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld.
Like the Second Amendment, First Amendment, Fourth Amendment. No. Couple off the top of my head.
And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the
courts are going to be abolished.
And we will also wage it in quieter ways.
What?
In how we live our lives.
Okay. That's a threat.
By treating one another
Dog
with
whistle.
kindness and respect.
Dog whistle.
It's okay.
By
It's okay.
in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor.
A Nazi.
By always using our strength to lift people up. To
As you tore him down?
For the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work. But like I always say, we like hard work.
Oh, there's an accent.
Hard work is good work.
Like hard work on her knees.
2 days off.
And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it.
We need more crying.
That's
There we
what
go.
you
There we
need.
go. Oh, there we
The
go.
blonde
To
was
the young
beautiful.
people who are watching, it is
You suck, lady.
Get drunk.
To the young people who
Is
are
that a nun?
watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing.
When we fight, we win.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before.
Just get on your knees like Kamala Harris and you'll go far.
Wow.
You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair.
Oh,
This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
oh my God.
Oh, we are. We are.
This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career,
I was ready.
I was
ready for the middle class family.
People who
I was
have
ready
suffered
for middle
great
class
harm
family line.
and great pain,
I thought you were going to say prostitute.
and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand, to fight for justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this.
Thank God.
There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith,
Lucifer.
of truth, and service.
Worst actors in history.
It's you. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you all.
Let me tell you something. RIP, United States of America, because it is a corporation and it is going to be laid to rest and the republic will be restored. I have to point out this comment because it is hilarious and you guys will find it funny. Deagle Haven said maybe Montel Williams will have a position for her again. That's the best win. They win the internet today.
So she said she tried to do it's like when it's dark enough, then you can see the stars. Right.
Yeah.
But what she forgot is that it's always darkest before the dawn.
The dawn.
No stars for you.
That's right. Well-crafted speech. I mean, she obviously had a writer because I don't think she did pull that off.
No
I
way.
mean, there's no way. But you want to talk about just a bunch of just empty things. The fight's still going. And well, I believe her on that part, right? Because the Democrats never rest. Like we think that now's the time that we've won. We can sit on our laurels. We've only got 4 years till 28. I put that tweet out this morning. Now, yeah, I love that.
Cinnamon Crypt says now we are now unburdened by what almost was. Yes.
Hilarious.
100%
But
true.
to go to your point, Josh, there's only 4 years. Listen, I think people really need to understand the difference between the corporation and the republic. And I really do believe that we, the people, need to start watching what Trump does, because in 2020, he gave the power back to we, the people. And that people, instead of researching it themselves, and this is what I love about both of you. This is why I only go on 2 shows, right? Is your guys's and one other, because what I know you guys.
Because we're fun.
And because you're fun, and because your wife will troll me, hopefully, but she hasn't yet. Come on, Annie. What are you doing?
She can't figure out how to log on.
But that's well, that's fine. But that's the thing. In 2020, he did an executive order that is actually still in play right now. And I told Max is going to look it up, but I got like crazy. That gave the power back to we the people, and they listen to all of these people that don't fact check things. And that's why you guys do things, right? And you're like, here's the fact check of it, right? It's like, I'm going to tell something, here's the fact check. So I mean, yes, only 4 years will go by fast, but hopefully within these 4 years that we restore the American dream, where these courts get closed down, where mortgages and tags for your car, all of that is based on fraud under the Uniform Commercial Code, which is a show for another time. But that's what I'm praying, that the people will research and look that up and really understand what Trump is actually doing, and not just listen to whoever they can listen to, who gives them either the most fear or the most hopium at that moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I can't wait for good old Elon to get in there and start cleaning up the budget, right? Because all these evil things that go on, or they're getting money from places we never see, all those dark dollars that government has that they just blow and spend. Like, let's start reining that in, and we start seeing where the roots of the corruption are, right? Because they've been feeding off of us for so long. Now it's time to cut those roots, kill the tree of evil.
But if you or Max get a chip in your brain or have some weird robot at your house,
no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Wait, I'm not wearing any robes. What are we talking
about?
Robot. I was like, man, no.
I have a robot vacuum, but that's about it. So this is the CNN exit poll. We saw that with her at obviously a historically black college, Howard. There's this prevailing thought that 18 to 29-year-olds are like 90% Democrat. What we saw this election, and it's not just the CNN exit poll, it's also the other ones that show it, was that Gen Z is starting out the most conservative that any new generation has ever been, right? So millennials, you used to look at millennials have ended up being even now, right? 49, 48, which is crazy because millennials helped elect Barack Obama. That was the young voter surge, right?
Yeah.
That was like a 70-30 split. That Kamala Harris only won 18 to 29-year-olds by 10 points. It's crazy because you know that as people get older, they get more conservative. Gen Xers save the day. Gen Xers absolutely saved the day.
I think so too. Do you see a lot of 18? Like if you go out to eat and you like have a server and everything. I have a teenager, right? He's not old enough to vote, but like Max is like, will send stuff and say, hey, this is for your son, because he knows my son is leaned conservative. But I also am like, here are both sides of the story, right? Of that's happening. But you see these younger kids that are like, my son always wears his Make America Great Again hat.
More than that, his shirt, he's like troll heavy.
He really is. He's like a patriot in and out, like that kid. And so he'll go out and he's like, I don't care if you're gonna fuck with me, go ahead. But because he knows that I'll fight someone.
Yeah.
You know? But like that generation, his generation, I see his friends and his parents, and like even the parents that are more on like the liberal side, you see their kids that are swaying towards that conservative thing, because kids don't want an agenda pushed on them. They want to be kids, right? They don't want to be told they're gay. They want to just figure out whatever they are.
They also hate the wokeness. They hate the wokeness of the idea that if a man wants to play against female athletes. You just have to let them, and they're going to win, and they'll get the gold medal, and you just have to be quiet because that's inclusive. That has turned this generation, in part, against Democrats so much. Also, you can't undercount the fact that 18 and 29-year-olds look at the housing market and they're like, how could I ever afford a home right now? Like the housing prices. Yeah. How could I ever afford it? Cost to rent or even buy a home has grown so much faster than incomes that it's out of reach. If I didn't buy my home when I did, I don't know when I would buy a home.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing. I mean, so Josh, you're in Colorado. When I was in Colorado, I bought a townhome. Man, that what I paid for there, and as opposed to a different state, it's like out of reach. And at that time, I was making such good money as a recruiter that it's like, man, these kids are like, 18 to 29, 26, 27-year-olds, they start thinking about marriage and kids and all of that. And they're like, am I going to support a family on, even if they make good money, they just can't afford it. That's where I think hopefully Trump comes in and these mortgages and everything goes away, because it's our ancestral right to own land and property, and it shouldn't be going to the cartel bankers, period.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, if I cannot sell my house and rebuy in the area I live, the housing prices have gone up so fast, so much, and my taxes went through the roof that it shocked the hell out of me. And to put it in perspective, if I sell my house here, I can almost go buy another house somewhere else outright, because the prices went through the roof so fast.
In fairness, really, no one can buy a house, can sell their house and really buy a new house near them. They would have to move somewhere cheaper, which is why you're seeing so many people moving into places like North Carolina. You can go on to like the North Carolina Outer Banks, the shore communities. If you're used to New Jersey taxes, you look at North Carolina, you're like, whoa, I can live here and be at the beach, and my income goes up. Do it. Look at this financial situation data from CNN. Of the people who said they were better off than they were 4 years ago, only 24% of people said that, and they broke 82% for Harris. But of the 46% of voters who said they were worse off than 4 years ago, they broke 81% for Trump.
Is the economy stupid?
It's the economy stupid. And about the same, 30% broke 2-1 like for Harris, but it doesn't matter. You can't make up this. This is the number. That's absolutely them. Let's see if we can find anything.
It's a majority share of the population, right?
Yeah.
And Gen Xers also showed up, right? Gen Xers showed up for the vote. That's what you're showing in that first one earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Gen Z's starting to come through, and there's a whole new generation of young Republican voters just waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
This is the thing that is stunning. Latino, Trump, 46% of the Latino vote, 57% of the white vote. We expected that. 13% of the black vote. He overperformed with black males, especially in swing states where they knew that their vote mattered. But look at this other ethnic groups. That's not something that we usually see. Now, I don't know exactly who that is other than Latino, Asian, or black, but obviously there's someone who doesn't want to fit into those three cookie cutters, but he won those outright. It's a smaller percentage of the population, but winning them outright.
Black conservatives, there was probably way more. I mean, you think about the people that follow like the Hodge twins and different, like Candace Owen, like there's such a large conservative black community. I feel like that number has got to be off.
Black men were up. Yeah. Black men were up. I saw early vote exit poll data showing that black men were like 1 in 4 black men in Georgia were voting for Trump, which is crazy. Like that's crazy. That's crazy numbers right there.
A quarter of black men, and it's going to break for him and quicker, right? Because they have been led to believe that the Republican Party has done everything in their power to enslave their lives since they can remember, right? And it's never been the case. The Republican Party has always been so anti-slavery, and finally, their narrative that they get to push that the conservatives and the Republicans are such evil people just didn't stick this time, because they're seeing it, right? They're seeing it in real media. Thank God Elon bought Twitter, because if it wasn't for that, I think this race would have been over.
But he did kick me off of Twitter, so
it happens. Maybe he'll bring you back.
You broke a little rule.
He doxed me first.
I know.
I'll admit it. I did dox a guy, but he didn't. He doxed me first.
Doxing a doxer should be fair game. Doxing a doxer should be fair game. Look at this.
I agree.
Look at this Catholic number: 58% for Trump. He won Catholic voters, but he only won Catholic voters last time by like, I think it was like around 10, maybe less. Here he won 18%. I saw other exit polls saying it's over 20% of the Catholic vote. That's huge because the Catholic vote is a huge voting block in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Well, not so much Wisconsin, but Pennsylvania and Michigan. Look at this result, though. This stunned me. Dearborn, Michigan is like little Arabia. Dearborn, Michigan has the highest concentration. Okay, here has the highest concentration of Arab Americans. In 2020, Joe Biden won Dearborn, Michigan, 88% to Trump's 11%. In 2024, Donald Trump won with 43%, Harris with 36%, and Jill Stein with 18%. Donald Trump won Dearborn, Michigan, because the Muslim voters and Arab voters there turned on Kamala Harris, said, screw you, and didn't just go to Donald Trump, but the ones who couldn't bring themselves to do that said, screw you, I'm voting Jill Stein.
Right. And look at that huge vote for the third party.
Yeah.
The Ross Perot effect, right? It can be big, it can be small, it can happen county to county, and you saw that there. And then Michigan breaks the right way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I can believe that the Arab, they come here and they come here the right way, right? And then they start businesses and different things. And they're like, hey, we came here the right way. We've started these businesses. Why should all these other people be coming in illegally and like harming my business? I can see why they would go and vote for Trump. I see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me show a couple of different things. And then I want to play a couple of videos so we can laugh at it. If the Census Bureau was honest and accurate, Donald Trump would have been able to win the election without even needing to compete in the Rust Belt. The Census Bureau admitted after they did the 2020 census that they messed up and that Florida and places like Florida and Texas should have gotten one more electoral vote. If that had happened, Donald Trump would have swept the Sun Belt and he would have been president, because it would have taken one away from up north and given one to down south, and he would have been president. One or more. I want to show you guys the projections for what happens after the census in 2030. It's going to blow your mind.
Oh God, let me drink.
No. This is good news. This is good news. Green reflects who is getting electoral votes. Red reflects who is expected to lose. Now, this is based on people moving out of some states and into other states. So right now, based on population movements, it could change, right? Probably going to actually get worse with the biggest deportation force in American history launching in, 77 days. Right now,
it's already starting. I bet you.
They're also going to self-deport. Anyone with any sense at all would say, yeah, I'd rather just leave than be put in like a truck or a boxcar or whatever they're going to do to move a plane. Yeah, I'll just go. That would obviously be better. But even before all that, California slated to lose 4 electoral college votes.
That's a lot of people. New York losing 3 is a lot of people.
Oregon losing 1, Minnesota losing 1, Illinois losing 2, Pennsylvania losing 1, New York losing 3, Rhode Island losing 1. And where are they going? Again, this is just estimates. Going 1 to North Carolina, 1 to Tennessee, 1 to Georgia, 3 to Florida, 4 to Texas, 1 to Arizona, 1 to Utah, 1 to Idaho. So you're talking about a 13 electoral vote projected swing from reliably blue states to reliably red states. 13 electoral votes. Donald Trump would have been able to clinch the presidency just winning North Carolina and Georgia.
Yeah.
After last night, it would have been done. So this narrative that Republicans will never be able to win an election with changing demographics, Donald Trump has shown you can win the Latino vote. You can get more of the black vote. You can compete in places like Fulton County and run up the score a little bit. You can win these states. Now, all of a sudden, you give those states more electoral college votes. The future is looking very bright if the Republican Party can keep together this coalition, but that's going to require honoring the promises. That's going to require a Republican Congress and Senate passing no tax on tips.
I think no taxes
on overtime.
altogether. I mean, that's where we go back
Baby
to the whole.
Baby
We're gonna do a show. You guys are gonna come on my show, and then we're gonna do a show on the Republic. So listen, producer Josh is gonna help me do some shit, but that's for different. But we're gonna do. I just demanded him, but he knows we talked already.
Yeah.
But we're gonna show on the Republic. It's non-tax. Like, you guys got to understand, there's so much things that I believe President Trump's going to do. I think he's going to eradicate DC because it's sat on foreign land. There are rumors of him bringing the White House here to Texas, right?
That'd be fine.
It would be amazing. And here's the thing.
I think
January 6th is the inauguration. When Lincoln sold us out, the inaugurations used to believe, I think it was March 4th or 6th. I believe it was March 4th.
Yeah, it was.
If he moves it to March 4th, boom, he restored the Republic, and that it is a new world. Yeah. So anyway,
I look at what the founder said. The founder said no state should have the capital because that would make that state far too powerful.
Sure it would.
So they made DC.
The capital.
They gave it to DC, but then DC just became too powerful. Right. Yeah. So the solution is to make DC less powerful, in my opinion, rather than.
But they all have. But that's the thing, Max. They all have the power. So the governors are CEOs. Everything works on securities and trusts. So they have the power. That's where the corruption with the courts and everything. I think that President Trump. I think it should be. I should totally be at Mar-a-Lago. I agree with you.
Let's move it there.
Well, this is a show for another time, but yes,
it's
definitely for sure. But listen, tax on tips, man. When I was a recruiter, and listen, you have a wife that gets commission. I'm sure. I don't know what her pay schedule is. But
no, she doesn't.
In Colorado, it's 33% off of commissions that they take. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a third of what you earn, right?
Commission.
Yeah, Kamala Harris stole the no tax on tips, so that should be a bipartisan thing.
Right.
Yeah, he was going to push that if she won. So that should be easy to get through even a divided Congress. No tax on overtime. A lot of blue collar support in Pennsylvania. Love the idea. A huge chunk of their paycheck comes from overtime. They love the idea of paying no tax, or at the very least, significantly less tax on overtime. He's going to have to push these things across the finish line. If he does that, he can secure the coalition absolutely long term. Running out of time. A couple other things I want to show. This made me laugh. Kamala Wins has become a Spirit Halloween. The Twitter account has become a Spirit Halloween. I like that.
Oh, well, it was sold.
And I want to show you the funniest clip of the night. This to me, I almost pissed myself watching this live. It was on CNN trying to figure out if Kamala Harris is doing better than Joe Biden anywhere. And here was the
you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Literally nothing.
I almost peed myself hearing Jake Tapper say literally nothing. And I think this is the state view. I think when they pulled up the counties, there were a couple counties here and there, but there were no states where she was doing better than Joe Biden at all.
Fantastic. Such a flawed candidate. There was nothing there. It was AstroTurf. There was nothing organic.
Is she flawed? Because according to Kamala Harris, she's a top tier candidate. This is from 2019.
I mean, listen, this is going to sound immodest, but I'm obviously a top tier candidate. And
I dug deep for this clip.
Funny. Dude, you want to talk about the most flawed candidate? You got somebody out there that has never won a primary.
I saved this clip back when I worked for Conservative Daily, just as Kamala top tier. And I remembered I saved it, and I just looked through that old hard drive.
Well, I'm glad you did, because this is her thinking, right? That's what she believed.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Top tier candidate. I mean,
I
could have run.
Top tier.
And probably beaten her out. I don't know politics. Jeez.
Josh, I just want to make sure mentally you're okay. You seem very teary-eyed over Kamala, and just want to make sure everything's good.
No, I just I was sitting there and I was thinking, man, how can I act like I'm having liberal tears?
That's what's like cracking me up. I don't think people are even realizing it. It's cracking me up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There have been a couple times today where I've like gotten teary-eyed in a happy way, just because of this buildup of everything that the country's been through, everything we've all been through, everything Trump's been through. Seeing the liberal tears, they're delicious. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Can't wait to find all the clips from that speech of people grabbing those. That's gonna be great. But I found myself getting a little teary-eyed, and it's part of this is getting older. I was 26 when he won in 2016. Just me and my wife and our dogs, no kids. The stakes are so much different now
with
having 2 kids than they were as me as a 26-year-old. Like, yeah, let's burn it all down, right? My sons both went into school with MAGA hats on.
I love it.
My problem is I told them a long time ago, if Trump wins, toys are going to become cheaper. And now they all want to go to a toy store. So I made that mistake myself. But they walked right in, gave a high five. It's funny. There was a teacher with blue hair who I don't know her top politics.
That's a Christian school.
Yeah, but she tried to take the hat off of my preschooler, and he wouldn't let her. Said, no, I'm taking it in.
That's
put it on.
appropriate. Listen, I'm about to down there.
She tried to leave it behind.
You're not mess with those babies.
They're not supposed to have.
Baby. I'll come down there with that blue hair crazy lady. Don't mess with those babies.
I'm sure she's good.
Babies, you don't mess. I will get crazy.
I'm sure she's good. She just, you're not supposed to have a hat in school. But I said, walk in, take it off when you get to your classroom. But he was adamant. My little baby was like, no, I'm wearing this thing.
Yeah, I'm wearing that stuff.
My other one was giving the principal high fives with his MAGA hat on. So
don't touch this baby.
But the stakes feel different, and it feels like we have a do-over. Whether you want to say that Joe Biden won 2020 or won asterisk, we get a do-over, right? They didn't asterisk this election. We get a do-over. We have a chance to fix what was broken. And as I said at the start, I think actually the path for Donald Trump getting more done is probably easier now than it would have been if he had been inaugurated in 2020 with a mixed Congress. We have a chance to finish what he started and to go further than he ever even promised in his first term. It's not often you get a do-over. It's not often you get to vote your way out of this stuff.
Trump said, like, I remember hearing one of the interviews of doing it, like, what's one thing you would have done different? One regret. And he goes, I would have chose different people. I chose the wrong people last time in my cabinet. Now he's come back swinging. He already knows who he wants in his cabinet. And now, like, the gloves are off. You got a pissed off man who had the entire government come down on him everywhere, the law coming down on him. And now he is the law, essentially, right? He runs the executive. You all are who screwed with him. You're all fucked.
I wanted him to come out last night and be like, Project 2025 is back on the menu, boys. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh my God.
I think people don't realize with Trump, and it's so funny, like sitting back and watching it. He is such an expert in war. And I think that he has had his enemies close, and like, he chose wrong in the cabinet, but I think that was strategic to kind of show the world of like, hey, here's the evil that's happening here in our like White House and everything that's going on. I don't know. He's just such an expert. He plays 5D chess seamlessly.
Yeah.
And I think that
he did make mistakes. He didn't know what to do.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're human.
He listened to Mitch McConnell and said, who should I hire? Mitch McConnell said, my wife. Like, I mean, like she was Secretary of Transportation. So you're not going to ask Mitch McConnell again, who should I hire? Mitch McConnell is going bye-bye, right? As my youngest son would say, super bye-bye. He's going to do a better job. He's going to do a better job of staffing this stuff out. You got to put Tulsi Gabbard somewhere where she can do good work, but not like no social issues. Put her SecDef. I'm fine with that. She's a veteran herself. That's fine. Female SecDef. Do it. RFK Jr., go into the FDA, NIH, and just start burning things down. Right? Like flush out the rats. Yeah, flush out the rats. Let's see what we can find. Right? Vivek Ramaswamy, you want to cut some budgets? Let's cut some freaking budgets.
pull out that hatchet.
Elon
Right?
Musk,
Like,
go for
right?
it.
Streamline.
It's
Yeah.
so promising. He just can't get caught up in the, oh, you can't do that. That's not right. Or, oh, you need to move to the middle. No, they tried to put him in prison without Secret Service protection. They wanted him dead. He almost was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania. He almost was killed again in Florida at Doral. I think it was Doral. Almost got killed at his golf club. They're not playing for, oh, let's meet in the middle and sing Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
The days of, oh, we're not going to prosecute Hillary Clinton to bring the country together, those days have to be over. They showed their hand.
Yeah.
They've made the rules. Yeah. Also, according to them, now's the time to lift the filibuster and pack the Supreme Court. So is that still what's in the best interest of the country? I guarantee you, starting today, they're going to all love the filibuster. The left is going to love the filibuster again in the Senate.
Yeah. Yep.
The Supreme Court are making rules right now on what was back in Revolutionary War. They're making if you go look at the Supreme Court and some of the things that they're ordering, it's where the Revolutionary War, where we fought our independence, and they are making these constitutional rulings, which is what we want, right? This is what you want for a Supreme Court. And they're like, hey, all this other stuff, we're going to let this go. So it's going to be really interesting to see, especially come the next couple months, right? Because listen, Kamala comes up there and says, pretend she wants peace, but we all know that that's not what they want. So it's going to be interesting to see. And the prayer, if you're a prayer warrior, this is the time that you get on your knees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're a congressperson, I want to see the end of the ATF. Slasher. I want to see the end of the CIA and FBI, right? Slashers, right? I want everything cut. I want those government agencies that take our rights and turn them into reasons to arrest us and put us in prison must be gone. Like the ATF is a joke, right? All they do is try to take your Second Amendment right, whether it be any sort of gun, and they try to create these artificial rules on a right that you have. There's no artificial rules on what I can say. Why do we even allow that? The ATF has gone to the wayside and it must be removed. I don't like the FBI. We can get rid of that too. We could bring in the U.S. Marshals to fill that gap until we get something to replace it. Now's the time to get rid of it all.
Oh, I'm with you. The three-letter agencies have to go. They came here to trample on our right. I'm with you on that, Josh. And I think the sheriffs, it needs to be constitutional sheriffs and the policy enforcement that are pulling you over because your tail light's out or whatever. There's no emergency. Those things have to change. Those are the policies that if you're going to come in and you're going to do something, change all that. I'm with you on that. And someone had, I don't know if it was true or not. Someone had posted that the FBI had put on Twitter, if Trump wins, we're leaving. I was like, is that a promise?
That would be a great promise.
Was that a joke?
I think that was just a Photoshop. You mentioned praying, and I think it'd be good to end with this. We can, on our next show, we can laugh at the liberal tears because there'll be more of them. We're about to experience the greatest mental health crisis this country has ever seen. I was telling you, Madison, when I talked to you earlier, if you are a psychologist or psychiatrist, you should be going out and buying a boat. You should be buying another car, a vacation home, because you are going to be booked up for the next 4 years with the liberals who scream at the sky, like that famous meme woman. Yeah. But one of the, I guess I'll ask you this because I have an idea, but we'll close with this. What do you think the turning point was in this election? And you can say that he was going to win all along, but what do you think the turning point was that was like, okay, he's got this?
Josh, go ahead. Me?
Go first. No, you go first. You go.
I'll let Josh end it. I really think the turning point was everything that's happening in this country. I think that and I know we talked about it here, whatever. I think there's a great awakening that has happened so much more so in people internally and in their hearts and souls that something is wrong, right? Something's off. And this is not what our country is. This is not
what do you think? What do you think made them realize it? Like,
I think the I think the cartels that are coming in. I think the influx of illegals.
So like a Laken Riley, like Laken Riley's murder, like those instances. Yeah.
Yes. And like, listen, they're having a hard time paying their bills. Like we talked about rent and mortgages, and people have literally lost so much. And they've lost so much because they've listened to stupid people and whatever. And they're like, something is wrong internally. I don't care who you are. I don't care who's watching this. Internally, every single one of us knew when COVID happened that something was wrong. Yeah. Not because they're saying that this is a pandemic, that something is wrong and that something needed to change. And you know what? Unfortunately, they needed 4 years of the crazy that we just had for it to change. So that's what I think. I think that's what was the turning point. And I think some people that hated Trump turned for him. And I think some people were just like, fuck it, I don't care, because I think that both sides are horrible. And I think that was the turning point. But I really do believe, like, fuck Kamala, I'm sorry, but I do think that our country, it's united we stand, divided we fall. There's a reason that our forefathers said that a long time ago, and it's us against them. And we need to demand the world that we want. The world should be peace. It should not be war. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be.
Josh, what do you think the turning point was? One moment.
Multifaceted, but the one point that I think changed it was when Biden goes and has a debate with Trump, and they realize that there's nobody home.
What the F are we doing here?
Right, and it's going downhill. Then all of a sudden they have a new candidate. Well after the primaries, they select Kamala Harris, right? They took away every Democrat's right to vote. And that was a lie that they can no longer suppress, because there's been a veil over these lies, right? And the veil has been lifted. So people now see what they're about to kiss, right? Especially with that side. And it's very eye-opening. And now you're seeing the huge Republican turnout. You're seeing the huge shift to Republicans. And now people start to see the lies for what they are, because before it was conspiracy. Now it's reality. And they saw reality, and they got a big dose of it. They ate it, and they don't want any more of it. That's why we're going to continue to see this shift, because for the next 4 years, we must continue to show those lies. We must continue to lift those veils. We must continue to keep that push of showing the truth, and we just run them out of town. Like, now's the time. And I'm getting pissed. We had a thing in Colorado past year where they're gonna tax our ammo like 6%. I've got a new crusade for the next 4 years. Because now I am no longer after, like, I'm out for political blood now. Yeah. And it's floating in the water. I'm hungry.
You bleed red, white, and blue.
Yeah. I think you're with that debate. Tens of millions of people tuned in, and they came in with, I'm struggling. Everything's too expensive. I want to know why. Why is Biden doing this? And they tuned in to an Alzheimer's patient who couldn't put words together, who bragged about beating Medicare. And I think
it's a P3DO.
I think the consensus from people was, why are we being forced to live like this? Why are we allowing someone in this state to make decisions that are making our lives harder? I think you're right, Josh. That was a big one.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Assassination, obviously. The assassination, obviously. But the week
I felt like that one, but
the week when Kamala Harris skipped the Al Smith dinner, instead had a rally where someone shouted, "Christ is King," and she responded, "Oh, you're at the wrong rally. You need to go to the smaller one down the street." And she told everyone of faith, that you're not, that her rally is not where you belong, that's not where you should go. And that, in my opinion, was probably one of the galvanizing moments for those Christians who were staying on the sidelines, the Never Trumpers, the DeSantis people. That was a wake up, like, oh no, we can't do, I can't stay on the sideline for this.
Right. Yeah.
And it brings me to this. I'll play this and then we'll wrap up. After Donald Trump the election was called for him, people at his party went out in the hallway, and this is what they did. Spontaneous, wasn't planned. People of faith all going out there. We got to sing something. He just won. What are we going to sing? And juxtaposing that against the, oh, you're at the wrong rally if you think Christ is king. This is the Democrat Party. We're here. You go to the other rally. That juxtaposition, I think, really shows that disconnect, and her bailing on the Catholic fundraiser. And at the same time, she was supposed to be there criticizing a Christian for saying Christ is king, kicking them out and saying you're not welcome here. I think that got a lot of those DeSantis, never Trump Christians, evangelicals, Catholic off of the sideline to say, oh no, this woman's not winning. We'll have a female president one day, but it will not be this one. I think seeing that at the Trump victory rally right after they called it is a great juxtaposition.
Yeah, feeds the soul.
I think Trump's the David of our time. And if you read the Bible, you should go read the story of David, because I do believe that he is a David of our time. And whether I'm proven wrong on that or not, I don't know. Time will tell. But I think that when people are anointed and appointed, it's not these preachers that we follow. I think it's people like Trump and people that you don't think are going to come in. Who thought that the person that was saying you're fired on a show on The Apprentice was going to become our president and then hopefully give the country back to we are people. So, and that right there gave me chills.
Reagan was an actor too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it because we're out of time, but who would have thought that Barack Obama making those jokes at the White House Correspondents' Dinner 13 years ago, making fun of Donald Trump in the audience? Who would have thought that would set into motion a 13-year run that unravels the entire coalition that Barack Obama built for the Democrat Party? Because that's what last night did. His coalition is dead. The idea of all of these people voting together, done. Maybe they rebuild it, maybe they don't. But who would have thought that his joke writers saying, oh, we're going to make fun of the Celebrity Apprentice and basically say, oh, wow, that's a really hard decision. Firing Gary Busey. Wow. I don't know how I'd sleep at night. That's what Barack Obama said. And you can see the rage in Trump as he's sitting there forced to just take it. And I think that was the moment they say, you know what? F them. I'm going to burn this whole place to the ground.
Because he said that it's been that dinner, right, where he was like, that's the moment.
You just gotta take it. You just gotta sit there and take it. Leader of the free world makes fun of you for like 4 minutes. Gotta take it. Not Trump. Nope. He is going to wage the art of the comeback. Right.
I'm going to take your chair in your spot. I'm going to sit my ass right in it. It's going to be a beautiful sit.
Yeah. I'm going to tear down everything you built for yourself. Any final words, Madison, before we wrap up?
No, man, I love you guys. I'm looking forward to more of this. And I just, man, it's going to be an epic couple months for sure. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think he should go out. You know what? Actually, the last thing I'll say, it's a startling. Let's run a little test right here. We'll run a test in Google.
Here he goes. Sometimes you can't stop him. He just goes.
You can't stop him. Say what happens.
To a new search engine other than Google.
Let's see what goes. Here we go.
What happens if the president-elect dies before inauguration, dies before being sworn in? Those are the top searches for people searching about what happens with the president-elect. He needs every Secret Service member.
Yeah.
He should not go outside. He should make it all the way to inauguration, and then he can have a little bit of a breathing room. But
put the man in a bunker.
That is a search trend on Google, and it is frightening. It is frightening.
So just put his clone out there and let his clone get murdered, and then he comes out and says, listen, this is
Saddam Hussein style. Saddam Hussein style. All right. Well, thank you, Madison, for coming on. We appreciate it. We're going to be doing more content with you. We're going to work that out, try and build a podcast network. Would be fun.
Yes. I'm benched right now. So.
Yeah, you're
I got hurt in an extraction, so I'm benched, coach. So hopefully we can do some more of this.
Don't worry. Let's use your mind. Let's just keep going.
Did you say ease my mind?
No, let's use your mind.
Oh,
no, you're going to heal.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to heal. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll be good. I've been stabbed and shot and everything else. So, I mean, what's a little knee injury?
Well, Good for you.
All right, I'll leave it at that.
You said I've been stabbing shots. Oh.
I wish I had a cigar. It'd be awesome with my.
I didn't
my
smoke one. It was too late. The sun
Yeah.
was coming up by the time I want to do it. I'm
I
going to do
know.
that tonight. I'm going to do that tonight.
Good
Listen,
blizzard
I'm
here,
going to do a
so.
celebratory before we go. I'm going to let everyone know. I know where Max's cameras are on his house, so I'm going to cover them and toilet paper his house for the fun of it. So hopefully I'll get pictures.
I've got cigars, and I have a
Don't
little
call the
bit.
cops on me, and I know your neighbors will probably help me.
I have a little bit of Joe Altman's bourbon left that he left at my house many years ago.
Did you
So
poison it?
no.
Wow.
No, so I think I'm gonna finish that off tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna come toilet paper your house.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Unless it's gonna rain, and then that's really horrible because
Yeah,
we can't
yeah,
get toilet paper. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
Madison, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Bye,
it. Thanks
Madison.
everyone for
We'll
watching.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk. We'll definitely talk
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
So thanks everyone for watching. If you like the podcast, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're on X. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when we go live. I wish we had gone live last night. I was the one who pulled the plug on it last night. I said, I don't know what we can talk about that isn't already talking about the screen.
Yeah. The nerves hit me hard too.
Yeah.
Like I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like I had serious anxiety, dude. And I just went to bed. Like Pennsylvania bugged me. So don't worry about it. We got today. We got victory.
Yeah.
We got
And-
victory. We got victory.
And we're going to have more liberal tears because they're going to flow. They're going to flow. It's going to be fabulous. So if you like the podcast, subscribe. We also have the audio edition of the podcast that's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podbean, Audible, all great places. Links are in the description. Subscribe. We try and make this as audio friendly as possible. That's it for this edition. My name is Max McGuire.
I'm Josh Hammerling.
The fight to take back the country, dare I say, was just won.
But
there's more to do. And the only way we keep winning is if we all stand up and fight together. See you next time.
see you.